Hello and welcome to Travel Beans. Today we are exploring the beautiful historical city of Bath.
Welcome to our hostel in Bath. If you have seen the last video, you would know that we're doing a road trip from my hometown to Emma's hometown. We started in Bristol and today we're in Bath. And
this is our dorm for 2 nights. Yes, we sleep head to head in the dorm beds because that's how adorable we are. Well, that's how sad we are, I'm not quite sure which. Again, we've got a 4-person dorm room all to ourselves, which is lovely. Super spacious, lots of nice light coming in from these beautiful old doors. So as you can see from the building behind me, YHAs are pretty impressive. They're usually in quite old historical buildings, and the one here in Bath is no exception. It's in an old mansion and it is huge. It's almost like going through a little maze when you're inside. It's really nice and it's really in keeping with all of the other beautiful buildings here in Bath.
So the grounds here are one of the most impressive things about the hostel because they're quite extensive, but okay, you can't really see, but behind there we are above the city of Bath.
The views are ridiculous.
And for those of you that like a good old nature walk, you are minutes away from one of the best walks here, the Skyline Walk, which is a 6-mile hike that goes around the city and you can see amazing views, gorges, things like that.
So we did part of the Skyline Walk yesterday. I say part of because I don't know if you guys saw a video in Bristol, but we went on pretty hardcore cider tour. And
we suffered for it the next day like crazy. We are getting older and the hangovers are getting worse. Yesterday was guaranteed write-off, but we did manage to get out and do a bit of this walk, film a little bit of B-roll, but we were not up to filming much, apart from Emma filmed this.
I feel like I'm gonna get hemorrhoids sitting on here. My dad used to always tell me that when I was younger, don't sit on the cold floor, you'll get hemorrhoids.
So now we are going to go and walk into the World Heritage City Centre of Bath and go and see what there is to do.
So although this may seem unassuming, this is actually one of the main attractions of Bath that I am stood on right now. This is Pulteney Bridge and this is the gateway to Bath City. But the most famous way to see the Pulteney Bridge is actually from here. From this perspective, you can't actually tell that it's an open air road. It looks like more of a closed off bridge. If anyone here has ever been to Venice and has heard of the Rialto Bridge, for me, I feel like the resemblance is quite similar. However, the Rialto Bridge is all covered and there's shops inside, whereas here it's all open air and there's a road going through the centre. Also, I have no idea if I'm actually pronouncing the name of this bridge correctly because in British English we do like to make some confusing spellings for our pronunciation, as we found as English teachers. So I think this is Pulteney, but it could be Pulteney. Also, another quite impressive fact is it was built in 1774, so this bridge is bloody old and it's still going.
So like a lot of cities in England, once you get out of London, they seem to combine nature and city very, very well.
Very well indeed, and Bath is no exception. The walk to get here this morning was out of this world.
It's so nice. A lot of people do not travel England in the winter, and I don't blame you because the weather is so unpredictable. It's usually terrible, but it does pay off every now and again.
It does. This morning there was like a frost covering absolutely everything in sight, so you had this kind of white sheen and the morning sun. It was wonderful.
And we did actually get to see a dog sniffing an old man right up in there, and you don't get to see that all the time.
Bath is a really nice walkable city. Everywhere that you want to see can be done by foot in a relatively short space of time. Right now we're next to the Pulteney Bridge, but we are heading into the town. It's only about a 1-minute walk away from the famous Bath spas and the Abbey.
But before we do anything else, we are starving little beans. So hungry.
So we are going to go and introduce you guys to some very traditional food from Bath. So we are here at Sally Lunn's, which is a bakery famous for the Bath bun. So the Bath bun is this gigantic thing on my plate right now. If you remember, when we were in Bristol for our breakfast, we had a breakfast bap. Breakfast bap is a very traditional, standard, everyday kind of breakfast for a lot of people. And it's kind of low on the fancy scale of things, but we've actually gone the complete opposite way and managed to find a kind of a bap. It's a bun. So Sally Lunn's is located right at the centre of Bath. It is actually the oldest house in Bath, which in itself is pretty impressive, but you have to come here for the food as well. They have 2 options on the buns. Well, they have about 1 million options, but they have both sweet and savoury buns available. We've gone for a savoury bun. I've gone for a Welsh Rarebit, which I've not had before, and Al's gone for the Welsh Rarebit Special, which also includes a bit of bacon. So Welsh Rarebit is essentially like a cheese sauce on bread with chutney. So this is their take on that on the bun instead of the bread. What they do for each of the meals is that they cut the bun in half and you get half a bun, because as you can see it's pretty big. I think they said it doesn't really matter if you have the top half or the bottom half, but in general they tend to use the top half for the sweet buns, the sweet toppings, and the bottom halves for the more savoury toppings. Okay. That bun is super light. If you are worrying that this is going to make you feel stodgy and full for the rest of the day, you don't have to worry about that. Even though the topping's quite heavy with the cheese sauce, the lightness of the bun is amazing, and actually it's a really unusual combination. Usually when you have cheese on toast it's always kind of a thick bread, but this is so light, so tasty. Alex, you are gonna love this. So, what did you think of Sally Lunn's buns?
Sally Lunn's buns! Well, that is a really nice sentence. The experience is really cool because underneath the restaurant they actually have a museum, which is where originally Sally Lunn used to make her buns. And interestingly, this is where the original level of the city was, and the Georgians, I think in the 17th century, something like that, they raised the level of the city. When you go to the museum underneath the restaurant, it is very interesting. You can see like how it used to be made. Very interesting. Now on to the buns. I want to be a fancy guy, guys. I would love to be all fancy, but I'm a person that eats pizza and scratches my nuts watching TV. Not a person.
Very graphic. You're more of a breakfast bap kind of guy, aren't you?
It's very fancy inside, and it's very nice, and I think if you're not from England you should go and see something like this. But for me, it almost borders on the pretentiousness, because they're just everywhere. Just is about it's world famous. They're throwing claims about world fame all over the place. Never heard of it.
That's very true. But what about the actual taste of the bun?
Okay, the bun itself, the food was very nice. The bun was very light. Now, I don't know if that's a compliment or not. Like, who wants a light bun? So now I'm still hungry, and I've paid £8 for a cheesy bacon roll. Please take this with a pinch of salt. It is a nice experience. You should probably do it. But if you're a little bit normal like me, don't bother.
So we have decided to have a little wander over to one of the more famous sites of Bath, which is the Roman baths. That's right, right here in this very spot, they were naked Romans bathing thousands of years ago. We don't actually have much information on this place, however, we are armed with our trusty information devices that look like phones from the 80s, and we are going to walk around here and learn together, aren't we guys? We're going to learn a little bit about the Roman baths together. Let's go.
Like the human sponge that I am, I have been absorbing all of this delicious and useful information, and I'm open wide, guys, because I'm going to wring it all into your mouth. So this is the only thermal springs in the whole of the UK, and they've been here for 2,000 years. Now the water, you're thinking that looks icky, gross, and a bogey colour green. Well, your bogeys are the wrong colour, mate, because this is actually algae from the natural sunlight, because there used to be a really high roof with glass ceilings. Beautiful, but it didn't cause this problem.
So now we've got icky green water. Also, going back to what we said earlier when we were at the bakery, this section down here, although it looks like the street is up there, let's have you know that is not where the original street was. It was down here at the same level of the bath. Also, as well as the baths, the Romans actually thought that the spring water was a gift from the goddess Minerva, so they had a temple built here, and they actually did animal sacrifices. Scary stuff. So this was a pagan temple, which was later destroyed by the pesky Christians. Right at the end of the tour, they actually give you the opportunity to try some of the hot spring water. Paper cups just like the Romans had. Smells kind of eggy.
No?
Tastes like metal. You know, like when you get blood in your mouth, like if you bite your lip and it bleeds. It tastes kind of metallic. Tastes like that. Not so nice. It's not often that we go and do the main tourist sites in a city. However, going to see the Roman baths in Bath was definitely worthwhile.
I've been to this city at least 10 times. I've never done it. I've never really done anything here, to be honest. Just walked around a bit. Well worth doing. Glad I hadn't done it before, so I can share it with you guys. Oh.
And it wasn't too badly priced either. It was around 15 quid.
Or as I like to call it, 2 rolls. 2 rolls from the fancy place.
Or a half roll, because they only give you half a side.
The other day when we did the cider tasting video, this guy, well, I woke up the next day in agony on my ankle. Well, I don't know what I did, but my ankle is in so much pain that when I'm walking around,
all I can hear is like, ow, ow,
ow. Just gentle complaints all the time, and it's so painful to walk that I just can't do it anymore. So we wanted to see more things, but we just can't walk anymore. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really hope you liked it. Leave us a comment.
And don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notification bell.
Remember to use the hashtag #BeansOut, because that's what people do these days. Why do they use the hashtag #BeansOut? It's because of a moment like this. Beans out!